Our primary RDC that we're going to use is located in this side compartment on the passenger side of the dive, and it has our cylinders that we will use to fill it located right next to it. Our secondary or spare RDC is located in this middle passenger side of the dive, and we have our paddles on top. We have 2 sets of paddles. They're located with a spare because it's not often that we'll pull them off and use them, but we do have them if we need them. You want to lay it out on a flat surface.
The RDC has 3 air-filled valves with caps on them. When we start the process to fill the RDC, we remove the caps. The little yellow plunger inside is called a poppet. It's either in the down position or in the up position. You want them in the up position for filling. When they're down, they are closed to receiving air into the chambers of the RDC. If it is down, when you remove the cap and you want it in the up position, if you push down against the ground and try to twist, you'll meet resistance and won't be able to twist it. You have to create space between the ground and the poppet. You can do that by lifting the chamber, pushing in slightly and turning, or by filling one of the chambers with a little bit of air and then pushing down and turning the poppet. You would never want to use any mechanical advantage or any sort of tool or pliers in order to turn that poppet. The next step in the process is to attach the air fill manifold, which is this black hose. You'll do that by first attaching the end opposite of the SCBA connection. Then you will attach either left or right side, doesn't matter in which order. You'll do that by turning the black hose about a quarter to a half of a turn, and then inserting into the valve and allowing it to turn back towards its natural position.
So you'll attach the quick connect to our SCBA cylinder, and you want to fill it at a rate where you won't be able to hear the poppets vibrate. So it's either on the slower end or a little bit faster. There's a happy medium, and it should take less than a minute to fill. And you'll fill it until you hear the release valve start to go off, and then you know that you're overinflated.
So in general, there's really 3 incident types where we might use the RDC. Swift water rescue, ice rescue, and mud rescue or entrapment. Generally, when lake level gets lower and someone is stuck in the mud. We'll talk about each one of those separately and what the rigging for that looks like. However, in general, the rigging points, there is a front and a back to the RDC, and that's really only because of where the bridle is attached. So this bridle is on what we would consider the front and is self-equalizing. The back ring is only there to keep this ring sort of in line and equalizing. Nothing should ever be attached to the back ring. Any attachment we make would be on this front ring, and we'll show those different attachments for the different incident types. Following this line back, the other place we might attach on the RDC is this point here on the front and that same point on the back. In general, we never want to attach any ropes or anything with force to any of the smaller D-rings along the side of the boat. Those are there really for the handles and the webbing of the boat, not the tension lines that we may use during whatever rescue operation we're doing. So on the dive truck, on the officer passenger side, the same compartment space as the boogie boards are 4 bags, just like this. It's our 4-line ropes. Is commonly what we would call them. We would use those in really most any of the rigging or incident types. It just depends on how we use that rope to rig for that specific incident. Specifically talking about ice rescue and really rescue in the mud is going to be rigged the same. We would just take the carabiner side and we would want to attach to the front ring of our RDC. Pretty simple. We'll attach, make sure the carabiner's locked. If we're using this for ice rescue, we would not want to use our ice rescue rope or sling to attach to the RDC. We would want to use this separate 4-line rope, and we may still attach the ice rescue sling and rope to one of the rescuers that's taking the RDC out. We wouldn't want to mix those two. It would just give the rescuer more opportunities if they have to make a victim rescue using the sling. For swift water operations, there's generally 2 ways we would rig the boat. One would be for a 2-line or a 4-line, where our control is manual control from both sides. The second would be a high line. First, we'll talk about the 2-line and 4-line setup. So attaching the 4-line is scalable. We can also do 2 lines. If we're going to do 2 lines, we would just do that at the front. 4 lines, we would also do the back. For the front attachments, it's similar to the back. It's the D-ring on each side as our first attachment.
Responding to detector at 5987 Clemensville Drive, US 201, cross street, start east 5th Street and Tyler Avenue.
And same thing on the other side. Generally, you need 1 line to the far shore so they can pull it across. However, if you're sending the boat across without the lines, but they're going to pick up the lines and control them on the other side, then we would just toss the bag onto the RDC until it gets to the far shore. And we'll do the same thing at the back of the boat. So a high line involves the collaboration between Swiftwater and some rope rescue or rope rigging techniques. For the high line, we would attach to this front bridle to the front ring. Our rope would be a life safety rope. That's why we carry life safety rope equipment on the dive truck. It would lead into a pulley and a carabiner. Of course, we would want to make sure our carabiner is locked. This would lead up to our high line. That would control our upriver, downriver movement and some side-to-side river movement. However, to really change the ferry angle and use the river current to our advantage to move our boat, we would also have control lines in the back on each side. So our ultimate end goal or setup would be 1 line attached to the front with a pulley on a life safety line going to our high line, and then a 4-line rope, so to speak, attached to the D-ring on each side, controlled by whoever's on that side of the river.
So what we call the 4-line ropes that we use to rig our RDC from the previous videos are located in the dive right here. It is labeled 4-line ropes, and there should be 4 of them right next to the patient helmets and the line gun.